Hello again, welcome to another edition of Ultimate Politics. I'm your host, Wade Nars. We're here today with graffiti artist and political activist Acosta, Flor, Marquez, and Bret Mielke. What was your inspiration for putting your time and effort into putting a mural up of Bernie Sanders with a background of the U.S. Constitution?
As soon as I found out that he was running, I knew I was going to do something along these lines to help support him.
And you donated all the time and cost out of pocket to do that?
Right. That was my contribution to this campaign. Street art just has a way of reaching people that have no interest in the corporate media.
Or usually get glossed over. I mean, that was one of Gama's largest concerns. He's a local artist around the Denver area. He's very active with all sorts of things, whether it be Broncos Super Bowl victories,
Current events,
definitely. And I think one of the stark contrasts for him was how much publicity he got as an artist for things like the Broncos winning the Super Bowl. Days later, paints a wonderful mural about a candidate who actually could change the lives of individuals much more than the Super Bowl game, and gets absolutely no publicity from the press.
What made you decide not just to have Bernie up on the mural, but the Constitution behind him?
Just the phrase "we the people."
How about you, Flor? What brought you to the table to say Bernie's my guy?
So I guess initially I started learning about his message, and he was talking a lot about the environment, which is something that I think we're almost in a state of emergency in our world that we're living, in the way that we're living, and that's something that I think is really crucial for politicians to be talking about, which half of them are not saying anything about it, and that's really concerning to me because that means that the majority of the population who are listening to them are also possibly not very informed about those issues. And I think that the way that Bernie talks, he's addressing all of us. He's not addressing just Democrats. He's not addressing just, poor people. He's talking about issues that are impacting everybody, and there's no segregation in that. We're all a part of it, and we all should know all of the information to make an informed decision.
As an independent artist, what is the biggest economic challenge that you think young people are facing today? Debt.
Definitely debt.
I had to stop going to school because I couldn't afford it, and I have, this is an obstacle that gets in the way of me furthering my career and being a community member and leader and supporting the community, having a voice for the people that are like me, that come from the same background. That's an opportunity that's being missed by a lot of people.
I'm 33 years old. I had countless people when I graduated high school go straight to war. Some of them now are probably holding those signs on the side of the streets and definitely don't get the mental health care or anything like that they deserve, I think. And you hear somebody like Bernie come along who's been working for veterans for quite some time. I think the other half of the candidates, again, are just unrealistic. They're not even addressing issues like that. They don't see any concern. The status quo is just fine. Whereas the typical person realizes that the status quo is not fine. This is a shaft, and it's leading so many people by the wayside.
The one difference that I can't praise enough is that he's not running to gain control. He's not running like all the other candidates are like, I need to be president. He's just saying, we have to fix this, and we can do better.
I think whatever the issues are, whether it's environment, making a living wage, having enough family leave to actually raise a family, all of the issues that we're talking about, they're so important, and they are going to impact you one day. They're going to impact your parents and your children and all of your friends, and life, we have to contribute. We have to take responsibility for our own actions and also for the communities that we live in and make them a safer place to live in. And just because police brutality might not be impacting one person, that doesn't mean it's not impacting the people that you care about. And so all of these issues, you can't just stand up for one thing. It's about your entire community, and that means participating. It means participating and voting, and we just have to do it.
So how would you tell someone to get out and vote for Bernie in Spanish?
Nosotros tenemos que tomar responsabilidad para nuestra comunidad. Es muy importante que no nos miremos solamente como un individuo, pero que pensemos en las personas que están en la comunidad, los que cuidan a nuestros niños, las personas que nos conocen, que nosotros conocemos, los que trabajan en los restaurantes, los que trabajan en los hoteles, también los que nos representan a nosotros. Tenemos que contribuir al sistema político, porque si nosotros no contribuimos, nuestra voz no existe. Y nuestra voz es muy importante, siendo que somos la minoría más grande de los Estados Unidos y que los hijos de los inmigrantes ahora están de la edad que pueden votar. Es muy importante que usemos ese derecho, porque si no lo usamos, entonces nuestros derechos como humanos están siendo violados. Y no podemos aceptar eso. Tenemos que participar y usar nuestra voz lo más que podamos.
Again to Gama Acosta, Flor Marquez, and Bret Mielke for sitting down and talking with us tonight about Bernie Sanders and the political revolution and the awesome artwork that Gama has been putting up around Denver for how many years now?
Actually, this August will be 10 years that I've been doing
For
it.
a decade. Thanks a lot. Bring it all in. Feel the burn.
Feel the
Boom.
burn.